Hello everyone, Happy New Year! Welcome to our very first Lunchtime Live of 2021. I know, how did we get here? Thank goodness we're here anyway. I hope everybody had a lovely holiday. Yes, I know, I'm not sure which way is up at the moment. Not sure if I'm catching up with myself or following I don't know what I'm doing. If you're joining me, do say hello. Very excited to be back in the shop. Although, to be fair, I've been in the shop quite a bit because I've had I really like the peace and quiet of the time between Christmas and New Year. You just get so much done. Hello, Louisa! Yay! Happy New Year, my dear. I'm just kind of gonna. I was thinking about doing this series as a way of showing you kind of what's going on in the Loveliest Yarn Company. So popping on maybe every Monday or every second Monday. We'll see how it goes. Continuing on from what I started quite inconsistently last year, as you can imagine. So talking about what's going on 2021, it's just I'm not really I have you can tell I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing in the Loveliest Yarn Company, apart from what we've already been doing. So some interesting stuff. I want to make it a little bit more useful. So I thought I would do kind of a few, I'll show you what we're doing and talk about some of the challenges that are going on. Hi Helen, how are you doing? And I'm going to show you what I'm knitting so that you can see kind of what I'm making that's available to make from the shop, might be inspired by it. And we'll kind of go from there. So first things first is I have a new thing that I'm going to do every month, and it is called the book of the month. So I'm going to pick out one of the books that I stock. Hi Annie. And I'm going to share what's in that. I'm writing a blog post to go with it, so I do have one written for the book of the month this month, and it means you can kind of maybe get a closer view of what's in the books, because I know when you're buying books online it can be a bit tricky, because you can't always see what's in them, and it's not, you don't have enough of a chance to ask what's about them, or you might not even be aware of them. They're tricky to find. So I thought if I did that every month, just sharing. It might not be a new book, it might be a book we've had a while. So just that's the first thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to talk about a few more bits and pieces. But this month's book of the month is Coop Knit Soxia. And obviously I think this is backwards because I have my screen facing me. So this is my Soxia. It's a couple of years old now, and actually this is my display copy back when we were doing shows and I needed a display copy. I will hopefully need display copies of everything again. So this is by Rachel Coopy. It was her third big sock book, but it was the first one that she'd written for Soxia 4-ply, which was the yarn that kind of came out around the same time as this. And it's such an awesome book. There are 12 patterns in it, and they're all knit in Soxia 4-ply, which is a really, really nice yarn. It's machine washable and it comes in loads of great colours. I'm so glad it's the right way around for you, Louisa. It's so hard to know which way the camera's going to twist things. Thanks, Helen. I'm so glad you enjoyed the 12 techniques. I had so much fun writing those, actually, and I was a bit more organised than I usually am when I'm doing an email series. They were actually all finished in advance of when they were required. There was a few of them that had to be done in the end. So yes, this is the book. It is £18, and I've loads of copies of it because I like to have this in stock. I didn't for a while, but I didn't have it for a while, but I have it back. And I have the blog post, which I will link underneath, goes through all of the patterns that are in it, and also it tells you which yarns you would need and in what colours if you want to match the samples that there are. The really useful thing about this book is that the patterns are needle agnostic, so it doesn't actually matter. You can use your preferred needle type for socks. So it has, and they're all 2.5 mil, which I think is super, because I love when you buy a book and you only need one needle, and this is that book. So it is a 2.5 mil needle. Of course, you will need to swatch. But I think for a lot of people, a 2.5 mil for socks is a great thing. So this is really useful. I don't want to show you too many things because there are patterns that you'll see very quickly. Hey Lisa, hello darling. There's the Day of Socks, which are a plain pair, which is really good. It's nice to have a pattern book. Sometimes you forget how handy it is to have a pattern book that has a plain pattern in it that you can kind of do what you want. I've made a couple of these. So this is Twyla. Twyla? It is Twyla. I think it's pronounced Twyla. And I've made those, actually. Let me do that right. They're gorgeous. They're a really nice introduction to colour work as well, because there's no big spaces between the colour work. Now, I made those in an orange and the dark grey and quartz and the cream, and I loved making them. And the heel on it is really nice. In terms of the construction of all of those, they tend to be cuffed down heel flap, which I like, but there is a way of doing an afterthought heel in those as well. Hi Caroline. So with the afterthought heel, it shows you how to do it in the book. Not my favourite heel type because it doesn't fit me as well, because I love a heel flap, but I know that everybody likes different kind of heel shapes. Hi Mary, yay! I'm so pleased to see you guys on a Monday as well. You're so good to join. So that is socks, yeah. I'll post a link below to the blog post so you can see all of the different patterns that are in it, all of the yarns. And also for this month, if you buy the book, you get 10% off of as much socks or 4-ply as you want to buy with it. I was going to do kits, but actually, to be fair, it's pretty easy to buy sock yarn. I think anyway, it's probably too easy to buy sock yarn. Yes, so that's definitely a book. It's our book of the month, and I'll be posting lots of different things about the patterns over the next wee while as well. But the blog post is there now, so I'll put a link under this once I'm finished the live. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. I don't know what next month's book of the month is. It'll be kind of as much a surprise to me, I think, as it is a surprise to you. But I thought it would be useful to kind of get a better, know what's there and see what's inside them. On the subject of socks, and I know I can see people who are joining and who've already joined the Facebook group, where we are fart. Yes, Louisa, it is, isn't it? It is far too easy to buy sock yarn. Although I've been very restrained. I think I'm actually down to my last, I want to say, I think I'm into single digits of specific sock yarn that I now own, which is, it's such an alien concept to me, but I'm trying really hard to just knit with sock yarn from the shop this year. So yes, I see people who are doing I know it's been a hard, not going to shows is definitely helping actually, Louisa, with the not buying too many sock yarns, because that's my weakness, all right, is a single skein of sock yarn. Now 12 in 2021 is our sock challenge that is happening in the Facebook group this year. I'm very excited. And we're knitting one pattern every month from the 52 Weeks of Socks book from Lina. And I have to say that this challenge was 50% for me, 50% for everybody else, because I've had this beautiful book for so long and I haven't opened it. I thought it was a great reason to kind of get into it and make some of the beautiful patterns in it. I think I'm not alone in having the book and then maybe not knitting them. So I think it's been really good so far. I love seeing everybody's. Definitely not too late to join. It is never too late to join a sock challenge. There's always time for a sock. So if you would like to join, pop on over. I'm currently out of copies of 52 Weeks of Socks, but I am waiting on the Lina team to let me know when I can, if and when I can have some more. Just waiting for them to confirm that they're still exporting to the UK, which I absolutely believe they are. So I should have copies though, I'm hoping inside the month. It's such a great book. So very excited about that. And on to that subject, I'm going to tell you as well what's on my needles in case you are interested in kind of finding out what you might, if you need some ideas. So I'm actually knitting, so officially for the shop as opposed to for myself. Yeah, and Louisa, that's so actually, yes, everybody's more than welcome to join in the Facebook group and knit whatever socks they want as well. All welcome. And actually, with some of the sock patterns from the Book of Socks, I believe that you can now buy them as individual digital patterns from some of the designers, because I believe the rights have been returned, because obviously after a book has been out for so long, the patterns often go back to the designers to then republish themselves. So I think there are some of those that you can buy separately. I don't know what they are. I must look, but there are. So what I have on my needles at the moment is, of course, my Bembe sock. It is my first pattern that I'm knitting. It's not mine. It's a Dawn Henderson pattern. It's the first of the sock patterns that I am knitting from 52 Weeks of Socks. And I have to say, it doesn't look as nice off as it does on, because it's got a kind of a slight humpy look, but it doesn't have that when you put it on. And that's in Yak, the Banshee Yarns Yak Sock Moss. I am trying to knit all of 50... yes, all of the 12 of them that I knit will be from shop yarn. So yarn I stock, so people can buy the yarn if they fancy it. But that is the yak sock, inspired by the fact that I've seen a few other people making that pattern in the yak sock. And I think it's worked really nice. I've been really pleased with how that's come out. I am at the turn at the moment. So I have 1.5 pairs. Now I have to admit, I did spend all day knitting this. So it's not that I'm very quick. I have lots of sock knitting time. And I think that this pattern is actually going to become my kind of one step up from vanilla socks. So I think it's going to be when I go back to, because I'm a rogue for the, like, I love a vanilla sock pattern. As you probably notice, my Ravelry library is full of simply the simplest sock samples, and nothing else, because I'm lazy as well. which is one reason for the challenge, because it gets me out of being lazy. And I have to say, I really adore this pattern. It's Bembe from the book, and it's just great. And it's knit on, I've resized it a bit. Once I finish them, I will be doing a blog post about all of the sock patterns as well, as I go through 52 weeks of socks to say this is what I changed, this is what I didn't do quite right. Or if I notice any errata or anything like that, that's in it. And actually, if anybody is joining the challenge and wants to do that too, I would be thrilled, and I'd love to share your blog posts. If anyone is blogging about the socks that they're making from 52 weeks of socks, because the more people who know, you know, the foibles of patterns. So for example, I cast on using a different cast on and a different rib, because I always do this rib. You love that it's green, Lisa? Yeah, I know, well, obviously. I do. I think I need a sweater in this. And I'm looking at this sweater, which is Echo from In Yak Sock. And I think I also need a jumper in moss. And I have another one called Swamp, which is also green. I'll tell you, if there is a green colour that can be put onto a yak base, I cannot get enough of it. So that is one of the things I'm knitting. I'm actually really good for the shop at the moment. Something else green. It's so bad. This is my second go at Into the Woods. It's a shawl. I have it the wrong way around, obviously. This is the very start of Into the Woods by Brona Miss Kelly. Because I started before, but I really am lazy at knitting. Like, I love knitting, but I'm so like I'm like, oh, garter stitch, hello. So that is a full lace shawl. And I'll be sharing that over the next while on both the Loveliest Yarn Company and the Banshee Yarns pages, because I am really excited actually to say that from this week, I don't have the date exactly yet. The patterns are on the site, but I don't have the printed ones yet. They're coming. Brona Miss Kelly's patterns are now available to buy through the Loveliest Yarn Company. So I'm very excited. I have, I think I have 10 to start. I might have 12. And I'll be sharing those over the next while as well. So loads of Brona's printed patterns, which are magnificent, because Brona is a super lace designer. So Into the Woods is one that she's designed for Banshee Yarns Cashmere Lace, which is that colour in Ruin. So I'll be knitting that and sharing it. So that's also on my needles. And the last thing, which I have to admit has been on my needles and a bit neglected of late, is my flax. So as always, how many flaxes does one woman need? Many. And actually, now that I hold it up, I think I might put it on and wear it around the house as a vest today. This is in the Banshee Yarns cashmere sock DK, so the merino cashmere nylon base. I don't even have any of it in stock in the shop at the moment, but I was testing it. I've been doing this as a helical knit, actually, using the helical striping method for the colour change, and I'm really pleased with how that's come out. Again, I'll be writing a blog post about that, and I'll also be sharing how to combine your yarns helically when you're interchanging between skeins for colour work. Or for anything, actually, when you're using any two skeins of the same hand-dyed yarn. Helical knitting is a great way to blend them together really, really evenly. I'm so pleased with how evenly that's come out. For a yarn that kind of takes colour, it doesn't like to I find it hard to get the colour even on anything with a lot of with cashmere in it, because it's kind of a heavy yarn. It likes to stick to itself, so it goes a bit, for me, although I have a new method that I'm going to try for dyeing it now, because I think I've kind of overcome it, but it's patchy, so when it dyes, it's like it can be very variegated, and I find the helical knitting has definitely worked for that. So that's a flax sweater in a 4-ply. It's actually for Simon, and now that I'm holding it, I kind of want it myself. Hi Shara, you cast on a pair of socks, Shara. Ahaha, good, I'm glad we were influenced into a pair of socks. There is a little bit, I have to say, around the Loveliest Yarn Company and the Facebook group, there is a small bit of, I don't want to call it peer pressure. Let's call it peer encouragement around people knitting socks. Yeah, there is a small bit. There's quite a lot of encouragement around getting some socks on. Unofficial knitting that isn't in Yarns in the Loveliest Yarn Company. I have a few socks on the go. I did manage to finish 2 other pairs of the 4 I was trying to finish for the 12 and 2020. I think I ended up with somewhere between 24 and 30 pairs last year, which seems mad, but my year of knitting last year was very erratic. You know, I went through my blog post from what was I going to knit, and yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. I haven't done one this year. I'm not doing one. Actually, I'm not doing knitting intentions this year, except one, and that is to finish a non-sock related project every month, which I'm hoping should be relatively easy to stick to. I'm hoping it's relatively easy to stick to. Yeah, this year I just didn't feel like, I was like, no, you know what? That big list last year, you didn't do half of them. Karen, you are always welcome to some peer encouragement. Peer encouragement. So, you, yes, I will. We will cheer you on in the Facebook group. And yes, if you haven't joined, actually, for anyone who hasn't joined the Facebook group, do join because it is. I'm really, everybody's so lovely. I love being part of it, and it's really fun. So that's what I'm knitting. If you have any questions about any of those patterns or anything, or you're making them at the moment and you're a bit stuck, again, let me know. I'm here somewhere for questions. And then what else is going on? So the shop this year and stocking and what to stock. And I'll be really honest, I'm just not sure what to stock at the moment. I'm doing a full Banshee Yarns restock at the moment because I think Banshee Yarn, people have been really nice about Banshee Yarns. And I love it because it kind of gives me lots of control over the colours and what we make. And it gives me repeatability as well. So I can say that if somebody wants to make a pattern, I can always get the yarn, even if I have to make it. But in terms of what else you can expect from a stocking perspective this year that I'm going to have, I don't know yet. I just don't know. I'm definitely going to have more camera rows, just waiting again. I think a lot of things are waiting for the Brexit kind of details to settle down, and I have my eye on loads of hand dyers. But again, I'm kind of holding a little bit. There's so many things you could get, but they'll be coming over the next few while. The next big new thing arriving actually are the cutest measuring tapes in the world from Coco Knits. Don't have them yet. They are traveling far and wide through Europe, I think, at the moment, and have finally arrived at the distributor in Bath. So we're hoping to have those in the next couple of days as well. But again, don't know anything else yet. So Aaron, yes, Mary, you're right actually, Mary, because I don't have any sport and I don't have any Aaron at the moment. And I definitely need more. So there'll probably be a Banshee Yarns Aaron this year, if nothing else. But I do need to look more closely. I'm kind of toying between hand dyed and commercial and nice commercial and what people want, and it's tricky, there's lots of nice yarn shops out there at the moment, and I'm kind of thinking about it, but I don't like to rush things. We're having a nice time together, I think, at the moment, everybody anyway, and I have some lovely stuff in, but it just, you feel like kind of there'll be lots of new things coming, but I just won't make any promises just yet. But I am expecting a full Banshee Yarns update before the end of the month. And yes, I've a couple of new bases coming, and obviously for Sock Club, which is now closed until the end of March, but all the Sock Club yarn bases have arrived, and actually I have people who are members of my Sock Club on this call, so just on this chat. So yes, they are arriving, and they are almost, the plans are done. They will be dyed this weekend for the first and second rounds of Sock Club, so they'll be coming out to you guys at the end of the month. Very excited about the first of those actually, and the tricky little pattern that goes with them. So yeah, very excited, and that's really it. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I'm very, very excited about this year. I'm just taking it handy because we had a huge thank you to everybody for what was a very, very, very good festive season, and at a time when things are rocky, it was really amazing. So a huge thank you to everybody, and that's kind of it from the Loveliest Yarn Company and Banshee Yarns. A little whisper about Knit School as well. Making loads of changes at the moment. Very exciting news coming up about that in the next kind of 6 or so months. Oh, Elaine, the sweater I'm wearing, this one. So this sweater is the Carpino sweater. I won't stand all the way up. It's the Carpino sweater by Carfeller. You can buy it on Ravelry. It's not currently available in print. Knit originally in Titus, but if you swatch, it can be knit in pretty much anything. I have a couple of them. I love it. It's such a great sweater. It was originally, I think, in... Oh yay, I'm so glad it has arrived. I love when things arrive. Let me see what else I was going to say about this. Oh, Knit School. Yes, actually, tomorrow, 2 weeks. Tomorrow, 2 weeks. Very exciting. Brand new podcast. I will be talking more about it next week though on the live. So yes, the Getting It Done podcast is launching on January the 15th. No, wrong. January the 19th. Yes, the 19th, Tuesday the 19th. Just actually doing the submission to Apple this afternoon. Yes. So I'm very, very excited. The first episode and the trailer are finished and ready to go. Second episode is in progress and I'm very excited. So that will be happening in 2 weeks' time. Really excited. So yeah, that's just another little piece of news from around the place. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to let you guys go. It's Monday at lunchtime. Happy New Year again and happy new knits or old knits. You know, if it's new year, new me, new you, improved you, same you. It doesn't make, you know what, new year, you perfectly fine. Anyway, my dears, take care and I will see you all hopefully next Monday. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely week.